Hey guys, welcome into this segment from our full-length The Onside Kick podcast. In order to get the full podcast, go down to the description, go to Blog Talk Radio / The Onside Kick to download the full thing. Enjoy, everybody. And now to kind of finish up this Super Bowl discussion, I want to jump into a topic that you brought up. At first, we just had the first two for the Super Bowl. Mark wanted to talk about this one. We'll make it kind of quick. Basically, does this Super Bowl loss for Matt Ryan not make him elite? And before we get into it, Mark, I want you to read a text exchange that you had with our own Mike Rankin from Behind the Pen.
So we're watching the Super Bowl, and people are reacting to things in our group chat. Some of us are in various places. And I said, this is the last drive. This is the Falcons drive when they had like less than a minute. I said, Matt Ryan either proves he's elite or a fake right here. And I'm obviously
make that accusation.
I'm obviously being a dick. I want to point that out there because some of you guys don't know me very well. I'm being a dick on purpose.
You're a sarcastic asshole.
Yeah. And Mike Rankin says, can't even make that accusation. My response?
Boom.
I just did.
Mike dropped.
Right? And Mike says, well, you're wrong. And I said, obviously, I'm pulling a Skip Bayless, but I'm just saying an elite quarterback makes his team win, or at least puts his team in position to win. See Tom Brady. Mike responds, see Matt Ryan this entire game before the last two offensive possessions. He doesn't have a bad point. Not his fault. His coaches can't game manage. And that's not a bad point. But what I respond is, Matt Ryan always is fighting that he's good, but he's not one of the best discussion. This game isn't helping. And that's where this discussion's kind of going. So Mike asks, what more does Matt Ryan have to do to be considered one of the best at his position in the game? My response, and this is kind of where I'm going right now, so this is the segue here, is that people will use the result of this game against Matt Ryan. And my answer to his what does Matt Ryan have to do? To be a dick again, I said win this game. But I'm not saying it's fair. I'm just saying that the NFL fan is obsessed with results. That's why Tom Brady is the GOAT, even though that there are more talented quarterbacks such as Aaron Rodgers, possibly Matt Ryan.
Do you know how many times Tom Brady threw the ball last night?
A shit ton.
62 times. You know how many completions he had?
Probably also a shit ton.
43. Completed what's his completion percentage? They don't even have it up there. Edelman threw a pass as well. Wasn't complete. But, I mean, the thing with Matt Ryan on this one was, I think that this loss goes on Dan Quinn. Because it's exactly, I told this to Sean last night. The game last night was exactly what I said in our podcast preview. If the Falcons can get to Tom Brady, they'll win the game. What happened in the first half? They got to Tom Brady early and often. Sacks, hurries, QB hits, they got to him all the time. Then I said, if the Patriots could protect Tom Brady, they will win. What happened in the second half? Protected Tom Brady.
For sure.
It's exactly what happened. And I know that there were a few kind of lady luck was on the Patriots side in the second half. That Edelman catch was pure luck and skill. The reaction time to clamp down on that ball, but a little bit of luck that it didn't hit the ground before then. And with Matt Ryan, he did everything he could to win this game, even had luck on his side, especially with that Julio Jones catch. I know Julio Jones is good, but like I said with Edelman, lady luck was a little bit on the side that ball was even catchable for Julio Jones. And when Matt Ryan, like I said, this goes against his coach. Belichick and his coaching staff made the changes they needed to at halftime. Dan Quinn and Kyle Shanahan did not.
Yeah, and I'm glad you throw Kyle Shanahan in there because Kyle Shanahan is the play caller in Atlanta, and he already admitted that he blew it. He said he blew it, and then he ran off and signed his deal with the 49ers. But the things I want to say is really when it comes down to it, and I'll get to Matt Ryan in a second, what I attribute this loss to for the Falcons is Kyle Shanahan was a little stubborn and didn't want to make changes. I never understand why this happens with Atlanta, that they'll pull Devonta Freeman out and not let him play in second halves. I don't watch the Falcons that often, but I feel like every time I watch the Falcons, that happens.
He only had 11 rushes.
And I think they said after they had that 28-3 lead, they only ran the ball like 5 times.
Wouldn't you think you'd want to run the ball more?
You would think you'd want to waste the clock. But at the same time, to be fair, that's not what their strong point is. Their strong point is passing.
That's the thing. I'm an
Give
idiot.
them credit for that.
When I said the Patriot thing, it wasn't if they could protect them. It was time of possession. That's
Which is what they had, and that's where I was going with next. The Patriots nearly doubled the time of possession as the Falcons.
Well, it's both of us said if the Falcons get to Tom Brady, they win.
Yeah.
If the Patriots keep Matt Ryan off the field,
But
they win.
the thing that I'm saying is people want to keep giving credit to Tom Brady for this amazing comeback, and I think he deserves it. Same with Bill Belichick.
Well, he has the skill, but
at
it's
the
the
same
play calling
time
as well.
That's not where I'm going. Is the same time it's really easy to run and throw all over a defense when they've been on the field as long as the Falcons defense did, which was 40 minutes and 31 seconds. The game is 60 minutes long, people. And now let's ignore overtime. The game is 60 minutes long. 2/3 of that game featured the Falcons defense. That's a recipe for disaster. No wonder they were able to score, 35 points? No wonder they were able to do that. 35 unanswered points. So that's right there. But the thing I want to say about Matt Ryan is I'm not saying it's fair, and I'm not saying I agree with it. I think Matt Ryan's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. But what I'm saying is Matt Ryan is going to get Dan Marino treatment of, yeah, he was great, but he never got it done.
Let's be honest. We can't say he's going to get Dan Marino treatment because
he's not done
we don't
yet.
know what he's going to do. And here's the question.
And they easily could come back. It's a great team.
Well, here's the question I wanted to ask you. Was I've seen articles today where they have said, you know what? The Falcons are primed, loaded. I even heard today from Brandon Swanson trying to be the Jay Glazer of MVP and drop some hot takes of Chip Kelly is being looked at to replace Kyle Shanahan.
Be a fucking terrible
in
idea.
Atlanta.
Absolutely terrible idea.
I don't know. And the reason why I say I don't think that is because he gets a high-flying offense to work with. He's a high-flying guy. Just has to worry about the offense.
Doesn't fit. Matt Ryan does not fit a Chip Kelly offense.
But that offense likes to move quick, and maybe that would bring with Chip Kelly. That's not my point, though. The point is they got the pieces. They can come back. But then I've seen other articles that have been like, will the Atlanta Falcons totally collapse next year? Because
they are in the NFC South.
We did see the same thing with Carolina this past year where they just fell off the face of the earth.
And even the flip side of it, too, is even if they do come back, there's no guarantees. Seattle went 2 in a row, and they lost the second one. So there's no guarantees that you get back and you even get to win. The thing for me is just, and I do think one thing I said in that text, as much as I was just being a dick to Mike for the fun of it, is the one thing I do truly believe is that the NFL fan cares so much about the success. And as much as play calling sucks and things like that for the Falcons, it really was pretty bad. And the penalties didn't help. But you expect your elite quarterback to put you in the position to win. And I don't think that Matt Ryan didn't do that necessarily.
So you're saying he's Joe Flacco?
Kind of. Is that he's got all the talent, he's got everything you expect, but he's tier 2. He's tier 2, and he's just stuck there. He is stuck in the purgatory of tier 2, whether he should be or not, because he's got all the talent. It's like the other day we had the discussion when Sean Anderson joined us on the podcast, and we said the greatest of all time. Sean Anderson says Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time, but Aaron Rodgers is a better quarterback. And I asked Sean, doesn't that mean Aaron Rodgers is the greatest quarterback of all time if he's better than the guy you're saying is great? Matt Ryan is better than almost every quarterback in the NFL. But he doesn't have the accomplishment of winning a Super Bowl. And every time the discussion comes up, the people on the side of Matt Ryan not being elite are going to use that in their arsenal. And whether, like I said, fair or not, I'm not judging that point. I'm just saying that people will quote and cite this Super Bowl as fucking great of a game as Matt Ryan had, because he had a near perfect game. People will cite this and say, yeah, but he had one last drive at the end, and he couldn't get it done.
And the big thing is, how long is this going to hang with this team? Because the one thing I want to point out, and it's just the last 2 years, but last year we had the Panthers losing the Super Bowl. This year, absolutely horrible.
Yep.
The year before, and the thing is, it's how these teams, the last two, lost. The Panthers got demolished by that Bronco defense. And then what happened afterwards with Cam led to what this season got set up for.
And Josh Norman left.
I mean, that's a huge thing. But then look at Seattle.
Or was kicked off.
They lose to the Patriots. The whole thing is, shoulda ran. The whole drama behind that. That next year in the playoffs, yeah, they made the playoffs, but they were the 6th seed. And let's be honest, they got lucky because Blair Walsh should have hit that field.
It's okay, Ricky. It's okay.
He should have hit that field goal. He should have hit that field goal.
He did.
And they got lucky. That's what I'm trying to say. They got lucky and should have lost that game. Gonna have to take an extra blood pressure pill tonight. But my point is how long is this going to stay with them, especially when you're the team that not only lost the first overtime game, you gave up the biggest comeback in Super Bowl history.
The thing I want to say right here to make everybody happy, because I know Atlanta fans are mad at me, the best quarterbacks in the NFL, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan's the 3rd best quarterback in the NFL. Maybe you could argue Drew Brees is better, but I'm going to put Matt Ryan above Drew Brees.
Well, overall as a career or like coming into next season?
Coming into next season.
Yeah, Matt Ryan. Like Drew Brees to me is one of those. He's good, career. But he's getting kind of old. I'll take Matt Ryan.
And the thing, but I think he threw for more yards than Matt Ryan because he threw for 5,000 again. But the thing for that is people are going to, and you can have this discussion with your friends at home, guys, or in the comment section. People are going to put Drew Brees often above Matt Ryan because he's got a Super Bowl ring. All it takes is one. Joe Flacco was called an elite quarterback because he won a Super Bowl. And Russell Wilson is the same kind of guy. He won a Super Bowl, and people call him elite. And Russell Wilson's not bad. I'm not saying he's bad. I'm still saying Russell Wilson's a great quarterback. But is he really elite? He just won a Super Bowl, and then therefore we put him in that elite category. I would argue Russell Wilson's not elite.
And honestly, looking at it, I mean, Matt Ryan to me is the 3rd, but after the top 3, really it's a dogfight for top quarterbacks because I could see Eli being in the discussion for top 5.
I can't.
I could see Drew Brees being in the discussion for top 5.
Phillip Rivers.
Alex Smith, but it's more of his system. I say after this year, Derek Carr, I'd be fine putting him in the top 5.
Wouldn't disagree.
Russell Wilson.
I would not put him in the top 5.
Him in the top 5. It's one
just
of those,
outside.
And if Cam Newton goes back to 2 years ago, he's a top 5 quarterback. If we get Cam Newton from this last year, he's not a top 5 quarterback.
I can't believe you're just not giving any love to Phillip Rivers.
Phillip Rivers would be like 6. He'd be 6. He'd be just out of that top 5 for me.
What about Andrew Luck? He's your guy. You love Andrew Luck.
Andrew Luck needs an offensive line.
Andrew Luck needs a lot of help out there.
But is there any last things before we move on into Jimmy G in the NFL draft?
No, my big thing here is just that I think that for Matt Ryan's legacy, he really has to go out there and win one. Because I used to jokingly say that he was called Matty Ice because he chokes. This was when he didn't win a playoff game for the longest time.
He's got ice in the veins.
And people say it's because he's got ice in the veins. But once again, I did see a lot of people calling the Atlanta Falcons chokers last night.
Are they chokers, or was it just bad coaching? Or as my grand would say, bad coaching.
Then the coaching staff choked, right? Therefore, they're chokers?
Well, I mean, it's not what I'm trying to say is...
I am the YouTube comment section right now.
So you're not being... The best tweet, I will say this, the best tweet from last night, and I tried pulling it up, was fake John Gruden account, basically making fun of Matty Ice, but calling him Matt Icy Hot.
Yeah.
When he was really hot at the beginning of the game. But this is where you guys come in. Let us know down below what you think about any of the topics we talked about with the Super Bowl. And if you're on YouTube and this is the first video you're looking at, go check out our other two. Let us know what you think about all of that. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that segment from the onside kick. If you think the fun stops there, you're wrong, because click the video right over here. What are you thinking? Come on. Click it. It's going to go away. It's going to go away. Bye, everybody.